Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this live session this afternoon here from Maria 01 and Urban 3, improving built environment solutions from Maria 01 startups. It is really exciting afternoon today with AINS Group that we're doing this session together with. So actually, the whole purpose of today is to matchmake startups from Maria 01 that have some relevance within the built environment sector to the AINS Group's corporate venture capital program. And as we're hosting this from our Urban 3 Innovation Hub, we as a KIRAHub, of course, our mission is to accelerate sustainable digitalization in the built environment. And we are really excited now to showcase you what kind of companies and solutions there already are here at Maria Campus. And then, of course, you will also hear more about this exciting initiative that AINS Group has for collaborating more deeply with the startup ecosystem and other companies. So surprisingly, actually, when preparing this session, we went through all companies here at Maria 01. There's almost 200 startups already working in this campus. And we want to understand and know how many of actually relevant for our sector, for the built environment, real estate and construction sector. And surprisingly, there were quite a many, almost 50 companies, so 1/4 of the whole campus has some kind of relevance in the built environment. We started going there deeply and shortlisted them for today's session. And now, soon, after hearing some more from the AINS Group's CVC program, we will have 7 companies that we're shortlisted from these Maria 01 startups. So we are now collaborating with AINS Group for this matchmaking session and also have a lot of more activities coming later this year. Without further ado, continuing for this exciting afternoon's program, we will hear more about AINS CVC program, what it's all about, what are the objectives from Jaakko Jauhiainen and Ilkka Hyssy. The stage is yours.
Hello, everybody. It's very good to be here, and thanks to the team in Maria 01, Teemu, Sami, Vappu. We are very excited about having top startups here. Matchmaking is great in many ways, but today we are sort of matchmaking AINS Group CVC program and AINS Group with startups. We were very happy to hear that in Maria 01 there are almost 50 startups that are related to built environment. My name is Jaakko Jauhiainen. I am the CTO at AINS Group. With me we have...
My name is Ilkka Hyssy, CFO at AINS Group. I also thank you for having the opportunity to be here today. So I'm excited about hearing of the improving built environment and the startups that we are meeting today. So,
yeah,
thanks.
Ilkka and Jaakko. And remember afterwards, we are only one phone call away. Great. Let's get started. What has happened during the past 15 years, since actually 2007 in Finland, when Senaatti Properties published their BIM requirements for architects, it was kind of a BIM thing. for say 7, 8 years. And what has happened during the past 3 years is that the digitalization is really coming into the construction business. So we are living exceptional great times. And this is most interesting. And the team here who has organized this, they have had a very big impact in Finland in terms of digitalization of our industry. And this is what we really need to do. We're talking about digital business, smart cities, citizen cities, better life, easy living, and of course, sustainability. Yes. And few words about the basics. Our company is one of the leading engineering companies and construction management companies in Finland. We have established last summer a startup program which is basically a corporate venturing program, meaning we don't make any finance investments. We want to work together with the startups. And the investments themselves, they are made by AINS Ventures, which is the investment company in AINS Group. 3 things to remember. Okay, so about our company, we are sort of middle-sized engineering company with some 830 employees. We do projects all over, although we are mainly located in Finland. We have 3 business branches or business areas today. There will be more, I guess, in the future. And something that it might be of interest to startups is that our company is now mainly owned by a private equity company, Vaaka Partners. It gives a kind of a twist also to startup business. And also, of course, many possibilities. So how did this start in AINS Group? We did receive some awards globally, and we were not really sort of getting the same picture as that we would be doing something really interesting. But then we sort of noticed that, okay, we do all kinds of interesting stuff. We have software products, we are very good in data-driven design, and so on. Cityfire is a great tool, for example, for real estate valuation and estimation of the development of the value. And this is something that we didn't sort of get ourselves. But then one day when we noticed this, we also decided to take a bit more bolder approach to digital business. And this is basically one of the origins for the startup program we have today. And we do all kinds of interesting things. This is a collage of 4 videos we have done. Algorithm design in tunneling for the tunnel between Helsinki and Tallinn. Cityfire visualization of the future value of property, and then some engineering examples at the bottom. Also, we are very forward-looking company. We take part in interesting projects because we feel that we have to sort of give our best and develop the whole industry. And last but not the least, a very strong approach today to sustainability and corporate responsibility. It's one of the key things that we will need to sort of establish in order to save the planet. About the CVC program, we do have Shark Tanks and so on. In this picture, you can actually see Peter Westerpakka, who is one of our lions, and Gustav Valtonen, me, and of course Ilkka. We are the regular suspects. And then the program itself, it's really a corporate venturing program. As I mentioned, we don't do any finance investments. We want to be of help to startups. We want to be able to help them in verifying their MVP or the customer need. And the investments we make, they are made by this AINS Ventures company. And we do both develop internal ideas into spin-offs and also invest in external startups. So how do we invest? It's about really one guiding principle is our investment policy. And the basic guideline is that we invest in PropTech and built environment startups. And this is because we want to be able to control the risk. We want to invest in something we understand something about. The CVC program, it's not only investments, but it's also about AINS Group support for the startups. We want to do close collaboration, not just only give money. Typically, our stakes are minority investments. We seek minority ownership. We don't want to take the responsibility of running and developing the business. And the typical ticket sizes are, say, between 100K, 300K. And this comes from basically our investment policy. We focus on startups with proof of business, meaning some kind of a MVP, minimum viable product, and some clients to a round. And of course, today, there are a lot of investors, there is a lot of money in the market. Investments can be syndicated.
And if I add something here, could it be so that as the AINS Group strategy evolves for the future, then those ticket sizes might be changing a little bit, but this is like Jaakko just described what we are doing today. So
yeah.
In 5 years period, that might be something more, I would say, but this is the actual case now.
Yes, we are kind of practicing this thing, as you are probably practicing being business people. Yeah. So we have a very simple but working process for this. It's really about screening startups. One thing about screening is, of course, that we have the investment policy, which is kind of a guiding policy for considering any startups, and that's the first stage. And of course, we also look at the quality of the startup, their view, vision, ambitions, skills, the team, product fit in the industry, and so on. But once you get through the screening, it's really about sort of getting to know each other. We prefer sort of creating personal relationships, getting to know you well. And the next stage is really about sort of discussing really, do we have a possibility for common future? And once we get past this phase, we decide that, okay, we want to do something together. Then we will go into the detailed discussion, first on the investment side, on term sheet basis, the basic principle of the investments, how to collaborate, And once these have been agreed, then we go into the detailed investment documents. And based on this, we have basically the possibility to sort of draft the shareholders agreement, maybe if there is one already in place, give our feedback on that and agree on what we want to see in the shareholders agreement. But then it's really about the investment decision and so on. And the result is, of course, the investment, but then the collaboration between AINS Group and the startup. Quite simple. So what we offer the investment, but then we offer the group support in business development. We give guidance in product development based on our industry expertise and potentially try to find pilot projects. And of course, we offer a capable member to act in the board of directors if needed or wanted.
I, Jaakko, feel here that this potentially pilot project is quite important in a way that, of course, we are operating like the nationwide from south to north with the 800 consultants, and we have all those projects in our different business areas. So we have a good place to to give some backup for the new projects to be interpreted for those startups as well. So this is quite important.
Yeah, and this is a very good point. We get to test the business idea and the product in practice. And of course, in Finland, we're able to open many doors. We are the biggest building construction management company in Finland, for example, and we are involved in many interesting projects, such as the Helsinki-Tallinn tunnel with Peter Westerpakka and Gustavo. Okay, but this is not all. We expect something these startups. We expect commitment, openness, direct communications, and of course the ability and collaboration. And last but not at the least, high ethics in business. This is very important in business environment today. We don't do any business with unethical companies. But maybe I should sort of stress openness in communication, openness in providing information. We are very dependable. We can be depended on and given any trade secrets. It's part of the normal discussion in different stages. And we are also direct, like Finns quite often are. We directly indicate what we think, and we want to have a direct discussion and hope the same from the startups. Okay, so as I mentioned, we are only one phone call away. Ilkka, Jaakko, just make a call. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jaakko and Ilkka, for your introduction to the program. Now it's time to start pitching. So we have 7 companies here from Mario 01 represented. Each of them will have 3 minutes for the pitching, and then we will have about 3 minutes for Q&A session after each pitches. So the first one to start is Pointscene, Lauri Hartikainen, the CEO. Please be ready. Okay. Hi, Lauri. How are you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good,
I'm
good.
doing good.
So ready to pitch.
Okay, let's go. So yeah, good afternoon. My name is Lauri Hartikainen. I'm here to present Point Scene and how we're solving the biggest challenge of the construction industry, the constant change in construction projects. The construction industry is losing about 100 billion euro yearly in Europe due to poor adoption of model-based construction workflows and BIM and having non-optimal information management in projects. Construction digitalization level is like music industry 10 years ago when you needed a special desktop software and physical devices to store, convert, share, or synchronize your data just to be able to consume it. The construction industry is also very fragmented and therefore sensitive to information loss. Projects have many stakeholders, all using multiple tools and even may work in different technology ecosystems. And projects are struggling with productivity, mistakes, budgets, and schedules. The biggest reason is the element of constant change and constant surprises and the disconnected situational information silos. Point Scene is solving these, and our solution is built keeping these pieces in mind. Digital construction works, regular site documentation using modern tools, and efficient data supply chains. Point Scene is the situational awareness cloud for construction works. We're the technology layer that connects reality mapping and other sensor data seamlessly between stakeholders and software ecosystems. We keep your data, your tools, and your employees connected and are compatible with all major CAD and BIM and GIS systems. We improve worksite productivity on temporary construction works, quantity takeoff and stockpile management, worksite and traffic arrangements, and by efficient progress communication and visualization. We already work with the biggest contractors and asset owners in Finland and Scandinavia, and also are exploring Central European markets. The opportunities are huge. The European digital construction market creates a multi-billion euro potential. And even with a minor share of the market, we're able to create massive financial returns. We have a stable growth in our license revenue, and now we're speeding up by taking the next major steps. The team in Point Scene consists of 8+ members with a solid background in software, construction engineering surveys, mapping, and geoinformation systems. And we also have an active board of experienced professionals to support our way forward. So far, we've been bootstrapping an organic growth with some angel investments. Now we're looking for additional funding to implement our growth plan and looking for interested investors to join in. So maybe it will be you, you never know. So let me know if you want to be a part of this situational picture of the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauri. That was really good start for our afternoon. So, Jaakko and Ilkka.
So I really have to compliment this, throwing the ball back to us. Yeah. This is very interesting. And personally, I think that there is a need for worksite productivity and so on. And this will be even more important in the future when we sort of start using more prefabricated components. It will sort of change the nature of construction. So what are your emphasis? Is it on infrastructure projects? I looked at the references, they were quite heavily focused on companies like Veidekke, NRC, and so on. How about the building construction?
Well, we have a few customer cases with vertical construction as well, but we have been mainly focusing on the heavy construction side and the earthworks part of the construction works. But we're looking into expanding our capabilities on handling more sort of vertical construction focused data, and also supporting these processes in vertical construction. So open to that direction as well. But as we have had a good traction on the civil construction side, that is the sort of the focus group currently.
Yeah.
But maybe together.
Basically, you are after additional funding, as I understood it. So what would be your plan then for utilizing that additional funding? Is it question of geographical export-oriented actions, or how you see the situation? Scandinavia, Central Europe, or would it be like developing the software in Finland first, having maybe the other construction type businesses involved, or how you see this? What shall be the pinpoint where you would invest in a way?
As we work best with some other existing solutions of the industry, therefore we would be investing heavily on partnerships and making our technology, of course, more suitable directly to the global players of the industry, but also having regional presence, like human-to-human interaction and existing networks on other, for example, Scandinavian and European markets. Why we focus on Scandinavia is the adaptation level of BIM overall, which is very high in Scandinavian countries. But in Central Europe, there will be a lot of things to do. So I would say that, yes, focus on the Nordics first, and then most likely Benelux or German-speaking countries next.
All right, thank you, Lauri.
Thank you
for your answers to the questions. Now it's time to go to the second pitch, and we will have Chaos and Natalie Rincon, the CEO, pitching about their solution.
Yeah, so very nice to see you. Jaakko, I think that we have been sending you emails and speaking with your team overall. At some point, we have been together in a tender with the city of Helsinki. So I'm starting with the point here that I'm representing Chaos, and we are an insight-driven company. When we speak about or the customers that we really focus on is real estate and like for investment and development overall. Of course, we create a spillover in construction companies, for example, like yours or others, in service companies, retail trade, and design and urban planning. Overall, the way that today our customers do a market analysis is through a lot of Excel files or Power BI. So at Chaos together, we are putting data relevant for the real estate industry and correlating that. So at the end, we use machine learning algorithms to provide insights that are quite fast and actionable to the industry in order for our customers to make much better decisions in investment. So how the industry is used to work is that they look at the transactions or the price of the assets and then make an estimation of what is the return of investment. But at Chaos, we firmly believe that it is that demand that is driving the market price overall and the return of investment. So we look at data in a very different way, and we go for that methodology or data sets that are non-traditional in the industry. So overall at Chaos, our mission or vision is to create livable cities around the world. We believe that it is by knowing more about people that we're going to accomplish this. And we want to be the best at delivering insights that our customers can really take action on. So as I mentioned, we are really focusing on the real estate industry. But we are creating a spillover, so we are getting a lot of inbound even from your company, because our insights are really helping the industries around real estate to formalize also their offerings. So we have worked also with cities, with design companies, with construction, and so on. And what we offer to each one of them varies depending on the need or the stage of the phase of the value chain where they are at, which point they are in. But pretty much you can mold our insights for this industry, as most of the industry needs demand, supply, location benefits, and market value. So how we do it overall is that we gather real estate data that is geolocated, like that would serve overall the industry. And then we start detecting trends and patterns in order to forecast. So we use a lot of deep learning from our team, from our side, to really discover these insights. And I have an investment in residential case to very quickly just go over some screens that our customers are used to follow. For example, by checking demographic forecasts, as you can see here, it's very easy to just go over the years and understand the forecast, like by postal code, which currently is not done in Finland, for example. There's other things that you can really check, like generations, in order to understand the letting when you're going through that process, or even the density when you're speaking about investment, really. Like, where is your tenant and population located? But then in the part of your company, I think that it's very interesting to understand where those construction projects are happening and how really the city is growing in a natural way, and identify those projects that also bring the highest return of investment for your own company. So these are just like some insights that our customers can get very easily, and scores based on reachability and service provision, or even like the market value overall. So yeah, I think those are quickly my 3 minutes, but then let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Natalia. So Jaakko and Ilkka, questions for Natalia?
Basically, of course, the real estate investment market is huge, but how you would make money out of that? Meaning that how you price your product so that it sort of reflects the value of the customer that they get utilizing your software. Where's the money flow?
Yeah, we are working in a SaaS-based business model. So we're selling licenses yearly. And I don't believe, and so far, the experience we have had with our own customers, there's the price is not a problem. It's not an issue. If you're speaking of a property fund that is billions and millions of euros, then really to get these insights all together and make it efficient, the price doesn't matter. But it's like through the add-ons that we are growing through, and the data sets and data points that we are offering within our system. Now, I understand that if you look at the Finnish market, you can have very few accounts that are very big in the real estate investment industry. But if you count all together the construction industry, the design, and so on, you're already speaking, if you consider 30% of the market, only getting that 30%, you're speaking of 40 million euros that you can get in revenue. Okay. So I don't think that anyone is thinking that in horizontal way. And it's actually, the real estate industry has been so powerful at doing these like insights by themselves that actually no one is really monetizing in providing a standardized way of insights to that horizontal line or value chain.
Good.
It's really interesting perspective. Any questions from Jaakko?
Yeah, I was really sort of happy to see that you have clearly defined customer segment. This was on your industry focus slide. So what about going abroad? Finnish market is very small. Do you have any plans for entering probably first Scandinavian or European, selected European markets.
Yes, for sure it's the Nordics first. We already have like a customer in Norway. So Nordics are by default like the first markets you go to. But of course, like also targeting those European markets that are data-driven and smart city-driven. So we have, identify those markets which have a smart city vision present and strong data presence. Now, typically everyone thinks of US because it's a big market. We want to target that at the end since it's so competitive. But no one is really focusing in Southeast Asia, which is also generating data that in the future would serve as an asset for anyone like tapping into those emerging markets.
Yeah. Very good.
Thank you, Natalia, for your pitch and answers. And let's continue the discussion afterwards.
Yes,
so,
thank you.
Third pitch will be from Askel and Ville Sipola, the CEO. Hi, Ville.
Hi, hello everyone and good day. So, my name is Ville Sipola and I'm the CEO of Askel Development Ltd. Today I'm here to tell you how engineering companies in the field of civil engineering can really pump up their productivity, reduce human resources to more productive work, and
Ville,
also...
Please share your screen as well, the presentation.
I thought I did. Sorry.
That's fine.
Is it visible now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So here to tell you how engineering companies in the field of civil engineering can ramp up their productivity, release their human resources to more productive work, and cut off business losses caused by complaints. The main product of engineering companies is their knowledge in their field of engineering. That knowledge is then turned into plans and designs, which are then delivered to customers in their preferred document formats. Managing and handling these documents throughout the project is mainly manual, repetitive, and very time-consuming work. And not to mention, it's also very boring. And when there's lots of human interaction, there's also lots of room for human error and exceptions to ruin basically the whole process. We have estimated that engineers can use even up to 30 minutes on an average day just handle those documents presented to customers. Well, luckily we have a solution for that, and it's called AIDA, Askel Design Assistant. It's a top-level software to handle all your document management tasks throughout the project. And it doesn't matter what line of engineering documents you are handling or even what software you are using. AIDA just covers it all. Here you can see just few of the top functionalities that are currently implemented in AIDA. By using AIDA, those engineers can pump up their productivity even up by 95%. And that is just a part where AIDA releases those human resources to more productive work. With the enhanced document quality that also comes with AIDA, companies can really be assured that there won't be no more complaints caused by poor document management. New model here that we are planning to use is based on license fees and, of course, volume. We have still not yet fixed the license fee, but here's an example of what kind of return of investment we could offer to our customers. And when looking to that number, you might think that, okay, there's actually a chance that those companies would be willing to pay even more to get their product. What about the markets? size? Well, only in Finland, over 20,000 engineers who use just Autodesk products in their day-to-day work. And Autodesk is just one of the software vendors whose products are currently supported by ADA. When you take a little bit bigger scope and think about Nordics or even further, you can just imagine what the market size there could be. The business opportunity currently providing is that we are looking for our seed funding of 150,000 euros in exchange of 20% of our company. Those funds would be then used to finalize our product and to marketing it. And to kind of summarize this all, we are not trying to refigure out the whole engineering process, but rather we are trying to help engineering companies excel in their current operations and be more profitable. But in this journey, we would really need your help. So that's my presentation. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Ville. Thank you. And so now we're kind of in the core of AINS operations as well, increasing productivity there with the engineers and designers.
Ville, how about references that you are having today?
Yeah, this is the hard part because
have you met AINS for the one?
Can you come again?
Have you met AINS for this process development tool?
No, actually.
For example,
one of our the employees has been contacting you, but we haven't actually been able to, you know, find a shared time when we could meet up.
My question is related to that one. That is your tool like? Is it like proven in practice?
Well, we have been trying to get you know, like a demo customer where we could have some feedback from the use to further develop it, but we haven't. We went to the market pretty hard time when this pandemic started, and I think all the places where we have visited many, you know, like big players in Finland who also are in the working in the Nordics, but there have definitely been a lot of interest, but the closing those cases have been very hard. Only thing I can imagine is this pandemic situation that has been affecting it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
But we have certain doors to be opened at AINS in that case.
Yes, that should be arranged since the topic is really interesting, how to manage the information and the documentation and so on. And it's really in the core of engineering business.
Right.
You produce models and documents, which you have to, in some cases, keep for 10 years. So really, this is an interesting topic from the practical engineering world. But then, as Ilkka said, there are doors to be opened. So we are not engineers in the sense that we do engineering today. I'm in technology and Ilkka is in finance. But of course, we can sort of select a couple of forward-thinking people and arrange a presentation.
Yeah, certainly, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So, time to go forward. Next up will be Proximi.io and Annina Koskiola, the CEO. Annina, are you there?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Great.
Fantastic. And hopefully you can see my screen and see me as well in the video. Very nice to meet you, Jaakko, Ilkka, and everybody watching the live stream. My name is Annina Koskiola, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Proximi.io. Proximio is a unified positioning platform. And what we do technology-wise is that we want to make it as simple as possible to start utilizing location data through the device that everybody already has in their own pocket, the smartphone, and to connect that to things like indoor maps, navigation, and other location-based services. Technology-wise, we are unified, like mentioned, so we connect every single sensor that is available in a standard smartphone, use and merge them together to calculate the location data wherever the user is indoors and outdoors, to give you the best possible accuracy for coordinates. And then that can be utilized for different kinds of use cases, such as indoor navigation and other location-based information delivery. You may be a bit confused about how is this related to the built environment? Why am I showing this to you? So let's look at 4 different examples of our customers and what they're doing with our technology, showing a couple of different kinds of examples of what can be done and what kind of buildings we're working with. So the first example comes from Kuopio, Finland, where we are working with KPU Novapolis, who is the biggest office space operator in Eastern Finland. They have a couple of office campuses, the biggest one being the Mikrokatu campus, where we just started working with them last month. And the whole campus is 100,000 square meters in size. It consists of about 8 buildings, and they have 2 educational institutes that are working there and about 180 companies. So this is just a massive complex that is really confusing for visitors, but also for people who have their offices there. Whenever they need to like book a meeting room or move anywhere else apart from their own office that they are used to and they know where it's located. So what we have helped them to do is a real-time indoor navigation solution that works through a mobile application that anybody who's going to visit the location or anybody whose office is there, they can download it, and then they will be positioned throughout the campus, indoors and outdoors. They can search for any toilet, restaurant, meeting room, whatever amenities they're looking for, and they'll be guided there with step-by-step instructions. Second example, also moving geographically to a new area. We have a active reseller in Dubai called DAS Solutions, who has sold our technology to the government in Dubai, where we've installed 6 different government venues at the moment with our navigation solution. And there the angle is that the government wants to be as inclusive as possible and also cater for people who have different kinds of disabilities. Whether it's the fact that they have some mobility limitations, like they're in a wheelchair, or limitations with their vision. And that was especially the focus of this project, that we built in audio navigation that caters for completely blind users as well, following this new recommendation called ITU-TF 921, which is a very strict set of rules on how the audio should work, what sort of instructions is needed, and a lot of specific details that needs to be added to the navigation. So we added this capability of doing this kind of navigation to our offering, and are really looking forward to also spreading this capability to other venues around Europe as well, where there's more and more focus on accessibility also within the buildings, and interest for new tools that could be utilized for providing that accessibility to users. Third example, how our location technology can be utilized in smart buildings for bringing personalization to the user experience. We've been working for a few years already with empathic building, provided nowadays by Haltian, which is a sort of digital twin of your office building or hospital building, where they have built a lot of other smart building logic, like ability to book meeting rooms, ability to see what the temperature is in different parts of the buildings, and that kind of capabilities. And what we are bringing to that solution is the information of where are the people at the moment. So what you can see is your own location on top of a floor plan. You can also see where your colleagues are, so you can easily collaborate with them. And this could be also taken a few steps forward so that the temperature and other physical attributes of the space could be adjusted to your preferences. When you enter into a meeting room, it would recognize that, oh, this is Annina, she likes the room quite warm, so let's put the temperature up. And as a fourth example, I'll show you a case from Norway. This is Dyreparken, the biggest outdoor attraction in Norway, both in terms of size. It's about 700,000 square meters, and also in terms of visitor numbers, they have over 1 million visitors annually. It's a zoo, theme park, water park, and conference center. And they've been using our solution for the past 2 summers already. And even during the pandemic, it has been a hugely popular solution, because what they're getting is the navigation, but also what the park gets is analytics about how people have been moving at the park. Through the outdoor and indoor positioning, we're able to collect data every time somebody downloads this application and uses it. We get information about where they have been visiting and how long they're staying. And
sorry, it's going a bit long now.
Let me just finish the sentence. So during the 2 summers, we've collected over 8 million wayfinding requests, just to give an example. So the amount of data they're getting is immense. And just showing some more sectors that we're working with, such as malls and hospitals. And thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So, Jaakko,
thank you, Annina. I can see easily 50 use cases for you. So what is keeping you from growing up?
Whoa, that is that is a good question.
Yeah, you must have sort of thought about this. So what do you find are the most difficult things for you to achieve at the moment? Since you have a product, you have reference cases, you have projects, you have customers. Yeah. So what is the challenge that you're facing at the moment?
Jaakko, in a way, many of those issues were quite familiar to our thinking, for example. Yeah. What we've been thinking, that what could be potential use of our drawing, for example, 3D model or so. Yeah. In Novapolis, for example. Yeah. So good question, Jaakko.
Yeah, that was a really good question. So what we are focusing now are 2 things. First one is setting up partnership networks, because we cannot take over the whole world by ourselves. So we are collaborating with different companies in different geographical regions, and we're working with different sectors to start working together with them to integrate into their products or to be part of their portfolio of things that they are selling to their customers. So that's one thing we're doing. And the second thing is that we're setting up processes so that we can deliver new projects faster and have a clear vision of what are the values that we can provide for different kinds of sectors and customers. And would love to also work together with you to take this technology to your customers and projects.
Yeah, let's have a chat. One thing I sort of understood from your answer is that you need to sort of deliver the project. But I would sort of like to think you as a product company, and then you would have partners abroad who do the actual delivery, which would enable you to sort of just distribute your product.
Exactly. You're really at the core of what we're trying to achieve now.
Okay, so you need good partners in all in world.
All right.
Exactly.
We can continue this discussion later on. All right. Thank you, Annina. So we have still 3 more pitches to go. The next one will be Immersal and the CEO Antoni Westerinen. Hi Antoni, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon. So I'm Antoni Westerinen, CEO of Immersal. Our mission is to enable spatial mapping and visual positioning everywhere, on every device, and by everyone. And what the hell is spatial mapping? You may think, or everybody here knows of digital twin, and spatially mapped with Immersal, you transform the digital twin to relocalizable. So instead of being able to use the digital twin on VR, you can now go back to the place and space and then relocalize it and position the content in there. And I will show you a 1-minute video which tells more than 1 million words. And here, basically, you see the process. The process is to map, then add the content, and then the experience. And mapping can happen with your smartphone. We have on-store applications for that, and it works outdoors and indoors, as you can see. And the data is being sent to a cloud service, which then kicks out the spatial map, the relocalizable digital twin, which you then bring to Unity or Unreal Engine or something else, and you create there the AR experience. Can be indoor navigation, can be games, and we have also created an application together with Caverion to look and synchronize the building information model and basically give a radar view on how the building has been built, what's inside the walls, etc. The overview once more was create the map, bring it to the tool set, and then release the application and then use it as an experience. We are seeking for Series A, and the size of the round is going to be 5 million. And the company has been founded in 2015. We are a team of 4. We are heavy let's say core technology. No, we are not into applications like Annina here previously has been at least testing. I don't know if they are using at Proximi at this point of time our technology as one of the localization technologies, but they are a typical solution provider. Market which we are focusing is 5G operators, as they touch on every user that there is using this. And we are already having good traction with the market. We have annualized recurring revenue for the licenses, moreover 300,000, and then we do not have basically any single clients in Finland. Everything happens overseas, and we are working with the global telcos, the largest of the global telcos at this point of time. And these are real connections, real customers, and real projects. That's basically the slide part. Any questions?
Thank you, Antoni. Interesting, a bit different. What do you think, Jaakko and Ilkka?
Yeah, one question about your target market. You mentioned it's operators with 5G availability. So how do you approach the operators? Is the customer the operator or a individual person? Is this
the operator technology department is the customer. and we basically deploy the server, the platform on the operator infrastructure. So what we sell is licensed to the platform to create the maps and then relocalize on the maps. And why 5G? 5G is where the edge computing comes to play, and this is necessary for the multi-user scenarios, whether you can have, let's say, concert of people playing different instruments or different locations, or you have multiple users playing a game, and then you want to have those millisecond levels synchronized. You can't do that with anything else than 5G.
Yeah.
And the market is just opening, so we are the only company currently offering this platform to the 5G operators. The market is currently small, but our strategy is to expand with the clients. When they grow and where their infrastructure grows, then our license revenue grows with them.
Yeah.
I just feel here that you have a quite clever vision of where you should go and how you would do this. And now it's more or less like question of the real funding of doing that.
It's a question of execution. We need, or we are seeking for funding to enlarge the sales team. We don't need a large sales team because the global telco operators, there's no more than 1,000 operators. So it's basically a market that you can grab, even with small team. But they basically are going to be spending large amounts of money, each one of them. And we don't sell 50 € per month subscriptions. We tried that. We failed with it. We sell 100,000 euros per year subscriptions to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
Your technology people are in place.
Yes.
I just happen to realize that one as well. So
yeah, of course we need to also expand the technology team, and that's part of where the money is going to go.
yeah.
All right.
This is nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity.
Time to go forward. So next one we will have Trail and CEO Sara Tiittanen. Sara, are you there? Do we have Sara?
Able to hear me?
Yes.
All right. Apparently I managed not to open my camera properly. All right, here we go.
Bless you.
Perfect.
Please share your screen as well.
It should be shared. Can you see it now?
Yes, go ahead.
Perfect. So hello, my name is Sara Tiittanen. I'm the CEO of Trail Systems. In the next 3 minutes, you'll learn about Trail, our business, and more importantly, why equipment management is relevant for all right now. Let's start with a pain. The story of Trail 10 years ago started with the pain of unstructured asset information. 17 to 20 billion euros are spent on asset investments in Finland only annually. And from what we've seen, there's still room to optimize, meaning that the number is too high and also the related carbon footprint is too big. So of course, yes, we have a solution. So what we do is we bring intelligence to all physical equipment. In practice, we attach intelligent tags to all individual assets to gather their life cycle information. The information can then be tracked in our cloud-based service. And when the information is gathered, it can be used to optimize everything around assets. But what makes us relevant right now? Markets are craving, as mentioned here already earlier, markets are craving for solutions to measure and impact carbon footprint. We are all already quite familiar with calculating the CO2 emissions for individual items, but what Trail brings to the picture is the context to those numbers, and Here we see a huge opportunity for us. Another interesting aspect in our domain is RFID. It's definitely not a new technology, but only recently it has become affordable enough to change the ways we work. The key in RFID is the distant reading capability. So imagine if you can, or when you can complete an inventory of a room just by standing still and waiting for the data to flow to you within mere seconds. All right, to the business. We are a market-proven business. Here are some of our fantastic customers. Currently, we manage equipment worth more than 700 million euros, and we've just recently, was it last week, reached our 1 millionth of labeled asset. Regarding revenue, our main source of revenue is monthly license fees. Our pricing is based on the number of active assets in the system. We are a growing and a profitable company. Solution point of view, we are relevant globally. We know that already. And therefore, of course, in the long run, we aim for our share of the global market potential. This is what makes us the new standard for equipment management in 3 minutes, obviously. So yes, of course, one phone call away as well, as said, welcoming everyone to the ecosystem. So
Thank you,
this
Sara.
is Trail. Yeah, no problem.
Sara, what is it that you are missing now? Why
Wow.
are you?
Capability to grow fast. That's the hot topic. So we know we know the markets where we are most relevant. We've managed to even reach a dominant position in performing arts industry in Finland. We know that this is relevant both in Finland and globally in certain areas. We are self-funded, so there's no external financing yet. And now the question is how fast and with what sort of partnerships could we grow?
Yeah. So what about competition?
Mm-hmm. There's plenty, of course. Globally, there's, I would say approximately 10 identified, 10-ish interesting identified, with a very similar offering in this scene. However, what we run into mostly is spreadsheet, pen and paper still. So there's a lot of market that's sort of unconquered so far. Also, financial aspect comes to the picture. So ERP, financial systems where the asset information is currently stored to some extent. Of course, it's not the same, but it's still a way to manage asset information still for now.
Yes.
Have you got anything related to that one, like the financial management of the assets as well?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We have it all, of course.
Have it all. Excellent.
But yeah, we have open interfaces, so we eagerly integrate to customer systems. But also we provide basically all information that is related to individual items, meaning purchase date, leasing time period, these sort of financial information which is available in the item information in our system.
Mm.
So one reference you had was the Scotch Opera.
Yes.
So how did you close that deal? Was it you personally?
No, it wasn't me personally. Our story has started with two founders, one of them closely linked to performing industry, and our strong presence locally here in Finland in the performing industry has opened a lot of the doors internationally into that industry. So there's a jungle drum definitely strong working in that specific area.
So your main sort of challenge at the moment is maybe how to go international, how to build the network.
Yeah, that's definitely. We have partnerships as well. So we see a lot of potential in building a partnership network around it, and it's already sort of ongoing. But yeah, stronger and faster internationalization is definitely the interesting topic for us.
All right, great.
Excellent.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Discussions later on. Now it's time to go forward and to our last pitching. We will have digital city planner and Maria Alisova. Are you there?
Yeah. Hello, dear colleagues. Nice to see you.
It's not Maria, Dimitri.
Do you hear me? Do you see my screen?
Yes, I can hear you and we can see your screen. Go ahead, Dimitri.
Okay, great. Thank you. So my name is Dmitry Kudryavtsev, and I'm a co-founder and head of methodology of Digital City Planner company. We established our company in Finland in previous year, but actually we have more than 10 years of experience in the field of enterprise architecture and knowledge management area. We accomplished a lot of successful projects in this area, and actually have certain experience in construction area, as you can see the link to an article about one of the projects. And here you see our core team. So there are some core specialists and also external experts. And on the right-hand side, you may see our main professional competences, so mostly enterprise architecture, knowledge management, digital transformation, and so on. So based on our experience, we see a big problem with heterogeneous knowledge in different fields, and as a result, the lack of holistic and evidence-based transformation planning and development. And so our solution is a new way for integrating heterogeneous knowledge resources and reference content in the built environment area for knowledge-based transformation planning using intelligent services. So how does it work? So the idea is to integrate different knowledge into reference built environment knowledge graph, and it is a machine understandable representation of knowledge both for humans and for machines, and this representation enable creation of different knowledge services which can be applied in the following areas, such as digital transformation planning, city built environment planning and development, and enterprise architecture management. And if to add a bit more details for the first slide, for this slide, so we are talking about the following possible knowledge. So, for example, we are thinking about different terminologies in the built environment area, reference architecture models, best practice cases, domain experts, open data and statistics, and so on. And then here you see a couple of words about knowledge graph, which is a represents a collection of interlinked entities. And as you see, it helps to establish the following knowledge services, and knowledge graph provides the following advantages. And actually, if we talk about our current proposal and collaboration opportunities, so we are now mostly interested in a pilot project, and we may create a reference built environment knowledge graph and create one, for example, pilot knowledge service which will use this knowledge graph. And the final destination is to create a solution which will integrate knowledge graph methods and knowledge services which are based on this knowledge graph. So thank you for your attention, and so I'm ready to answer questions.
Thank you, Dimitri. And Jaakko and Ilkka, questions, comments?
This is very different from the previous startups, I think. I think you have a lot of knowledge, a lot of training, high education. I think you mentioned 100 books or publications. But then, what are the practical applications you are planning to provide?
So the main practical applications will come from knowledge services. So the ones that I've mentioned on the following slide. So it can be a kind of question and answer service which is based on the integrated knowledge, or maybe a benchmarking tool. So the selection of these knowledge services may be driven by the demand in the specific case. Actually, we are thinking about a kind of infrastructure for creating these knowledge services.
Yeah.
And you were now after like a pilot project of proving that, or taking the first step of sort of coming into market for that one.
Yeah. So now we're at the beginning stage actually, and so we are looking for a pilot project to test our idea and then approach.
How's the financial part of your business then? Are you here for investment or what? In addition of that pilot project?
Actually, of course, we're interested in investments, but it seems for us that we are not so mature at the moment to ask you for an investment. And so we are thinking that the ideal option is to start from pilot project. And if, for example, it will be interesting and feasible, so investment will be the next step.
Yeah.
As it seems all right.
Just has to always ask whether our investment objectives are going alive and feasible every day. So that's why I was just asking that. So I understand you have the finances at the moment.
So at the moment we have our own financial resources, and so we are also interested in external ones.
Yeah, I have one further question. What would be the ideal pilot project for you?
What could you repeat the question? I didn't catch it completely.
What would be the ideal pilot project for you?
The ideal pilot project will be, for example, the selection of certain domain, for example, subdomain of built environment area, the specification of possible types of knowledge which can be integrated, and the idea is identification of some tasks which can be improved. For example, if we see that the digitalization planning process can be improved, so we may agree on some improvement within this process and using some and define some knowledge service within this area.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dimitri. So we had our seven pitches now ready, and it's time to go to the next session of deeper discussion. So far we've heard about the AINS Group's corporate venture capital program and what it offers and what are the objectives. Then we had the seven amazing pitches from the Maria 01 startups, all talking about their solutions and offering. And now we can kind of start reflecting if there is a fit between these offerings and CVC program.
Yeah.
But with a short video. Let's go to the next session.
Yeah.
All right, and welcome back. So this is now time and chance also for you or the companies that were pitching to ask questions from AINS Group as well. So let's have an open discussion on issues and needs, what kind of ideas this session so far has kind of given us, and then further on, what could be the next steps going forward. So to start up, any questions from our companies online? Who would like to start? Any brave ones? Natalia.
Yeah. So quickly, it would be nice to understand what is some of the needs that you have identified within your company. We are very different startups here, so always getting to know the need and the strategy overall of your company. It's good to understand like what are those startups that can help you the most achieve that.
Yeah, really about the strategy. Actually, before going into that, I think I was really happy. Probably Ilkka was also happy to see so many good presentations. Thank you. Okay, if we think about the process we have, we usually have the screening as the first stage. And of course, a 3-minute pitch with 3 minutes of questions, it leaves many things sort of hanging in the air. But if you remember the investment policy slide, it would have to be a startup in PropTech or built environment. And that would be one of the key points here. So in this sense, for example, Trail is a bit sort of on the border. I can see immediately tens of applications for Trail technology. For example, all the big university hospitals in Finland, which have a lot of expensive equipment, and I believe that a lot of this expensive equipment is lost somewhere most of the time. So, and then I would say that since you asked, chaos might be of interest since we do have a bit similar product ourselves. So it might be useful to sort of look at the product in more detail. We are kind of gatekeepers here today.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There might be some commonalities, which could be something more together, for example. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I would sort of say that at least I've been thinking, or we've been thinking, like, what could be added, for example, to our 3D model of a certain building drawing, or an environment drawing, or a way drawing, or anything like that. And now there were like several that kind of companies that at least it sort of raised my interest of what if, for example, that information would be used that we generate in our design processes, for example. Okay, that information could be owned by the company invested in the building, like the Novapolis as an example in Kuopio, for example, that was here. But there are many kind of like possibilities to find out whether that could be something. One thing I of course think here, who would be that person or the company that would pay enough for having that information like tied together, and what kind of information that person who is utilizing his or her mobile telephone of walking through the airport or the building or whatever hospital, what information would be there, that would generate enough interest for somebody to pay for that. That's always a difficult issue. Is that enough that Novapolis or the airport or the hospital owns the solution and that's it, and provides it to customer just as a convenient way of going around? I'm not sure. That information should be somehow utilized in a commercial way.
Yeah.
So that's something that we've been thinking of. Who owns the information and how to make money out of that? In addition of that is convenient or looks nice or helps me doing something. But there were several companies now here represented today that we could in a way have a discussion, open discussion of how we could combine like the design processes, for example, to that information that you showed to us.
Yeah. So going back to the Natalia's question, so there is kind of similar offering already within AINS Group. We're talking about CityFire. Right?
Yeah.
But there could be opportunities as well. So to closer look how much overlapping or how much complementary there are between those solutions. I think it's worth to look into.
Or then just to invest by us without involving not more than that.
Yeah.
But that would be like related to construction or building environment. That would be enough.
And to be honest, sort of, we had a 3-minute pitch and then we had a 3-minute discussion. If we think about the process we had the first stage, it's screening. I don't think this 6 minutes was enough to rule anyone out at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not point to ruling anyone out anyhow, so it's good to keep those options open. In the end, we're still in the kind of, we showed that the kind of process of this funnel, and we're still kind of in the top screening point there.
So all startups were kind of, if we think about sales and the sales funnel, these were all still leads, which we need to sort of evaluate and look into more thoroughly.
And then something to add, in a way, there were now several companies who were like solid enough for showing their financial capability in a small scale, like something of proven track record, which would be always a good starting point of understanding that we are really having something that somebody's already now willing to pay. And then we just have to think the way how it should be distributed, maybe developed together to become a bigger one.
Yeah.
So
So Natalia, did you get an answer for your question?
Yeah, I think it's of course very understandable that it's screening. I think I expanded even my question to something more strategic, and this is more as a fund, not as only a company. And this is more maybe just like curiosity, like how do you manage the risk? Because you are not a leading investor, you are actually you mentioned that you are up to Series A, but with a small ticket even of 250,000. When if the valuation is very high, that's still a very small ticket. But since you're not a leading investor, but at the same time seems that you have a very strong guidance for startups to fulfill the needs of your own strategic intents. So how do you manage to give startups enough freedom to address new markets that maybe not are addressing directly your needs, but are very potential, for example, prop tech companies?
Yep.
So how do you balance the risk between being a strategic investor and just like prop tech investor?
Yeah, okay. I think it was mentioned that it's the typical ticket size. So Series A might be something totally different. But then if we sort of think about the business we have, say you have a startup that has a product that would serve our competitors also. We wouldn't limit this. Or if you found another application in a different industry, I don't think we would limit this.
Yeah, right.
Because what we really cannot do, we cannot sort of change the startup to serve only us in our business.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
Or from growing in a different field.
Yeah.
It would be unethical.
Of course, it would be nice of acting in a board in a role like giving advice, etc. But that's it, of course.
Yeah. So we don't expect to manage the company.
Yeah, right.
We expect to be kind of advisors.
So in the end, it's still about the company, the startups, and that its vision. But of course, optimally, there could be this kind of symbiosis of really collaboration going on.
Yeah.
And in some cases, we can open doors that are not open otherwise. And like where we started from, we have projects ongoing nationwide, thousands every year. So that would be something also to be utilized with the startup.
All right, we have next question from Lauri in Point C.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. If I remember correctly from your presentation, you had quite a bit of international business as well, and you had the 3 business segments of construction management and design and civil design and structural design, I think.
Yeah.
So first, or 2 questions. How much the CVC program is focusing on the international sort of growth of the business or support of AINS there, and also how much of the current business is related to construction management, because that's sort of the thing that we would fit most or best with. So 2-sided questions. How much you're supporting AINS Group in international business, and how much of the business is the construction management?
Okay.
Have we really thought of concentrating in international business in this venture capital? I would say that we really haven't given a sort of a strategic sentence or that we should do something abroad or we should be international in a way or something like that. We really haven't said that.
We haven't said that, but then now that we have this cooperation with KIRAHub, we are really interested in seeing startups in different ecosystems. And then the business we have, it's really, we are sort of looking at stronger internationalization in the core business during the next 3 or 5 years.
That's right, and that's another issue then. There we have said that we are going to be international, more international. That's clear.
And we constantly carry out projects abroad, but they are mostly carried out with Finnish companies. Yeah, so that might be sort of a answer.
Okay, good. And then the other question about the part of construction management as a strategic part compared to the design services.
Okay, we have about 200 people in the construction management business, and the rest, 630, 650 are in engineering. So that's roughly the division.
Maybe around 25%, 30% of the total turnover for the last year, for example.
Okay, thank you very much.
So then one comment about this. If you are sort of thinking about your product used in projects we manage, then one key topic is who is your customer? Is it the client, the building owner, for example, or the main contractor?
In our case, it's mainly the main contractor, but with the acceptance of the building owner and sometimes even funding from the building or the asset owner. So it's a bit of a two-way street there.
I'm really happy to hear this answer, since really what we can do is we can affect the mindset of the client and then sort of bring this thought of doing things a bit differently in this project or projects for this client. Yeah, because we represent the client, we might be able to affect the contractors so that new systems will be applied.
All right. Any other questions on the companies? Yes, Anni, go ahead.
Yeah, I was interested in hearing if you see that a collaboration would come first before a potential investment, or would you see that you would first invest and then do any potential projects together? And as a follow-up question to that, are you interested in products or companies that would improve your internal processes, or that would bring potentially additional revenue to you guys as the AINS Group?
That's a good question.
Really good. Yeah. It always depends what you see, who you meet, what kind of businesses that you are talking with. But in the first case, I would say that more or less like we are after of companies that would bring more turnover, more net sales, maybe projects together, and improving then the collaboration between us. But could be, of course, something that if we improve our own processes, for example. But I wouldn't say that that would be something that we are looking after in the first case. What do you say, Jaakko?
Not necessarily. However,
but today we met one company that we have to meet, for example, because that's our core, and the efficiency in the engineering world, it's crucial, of course, and very important. In a way, that's interesting point of view.
Yeah,
But that was more or less like a surprise today now.
Yeah.
Happy that it happens. But
yes.
So mostly building new business, but also
right.
like Askel we had.
More or less.
Yeah.
More or less.
Also internal efficiency, and since we still have the pandemic and we are thinking about the next normal in working, we are really thinking about how much space we need, how do we control where people are, and so on. So to Annin, I think you have
that's
quite a good
one.
opportunity here, because companies want to be able to know whether companies are beginning to sort of not have dedicated desks for people. We are planning this at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think we are on the edge of something which would probably give a very good business opportunity also to you, Annina.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was another one. Yeah, you are right.
Okay. Good. Thanks.
There's a question.
Anton, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So Anthony from Immersal. So as you probably realized, Immersal, we are a horizontal technology provider, and there is no prop tech or construction management vertical solution available. And question is, AINS is more or less, as far as I understand, an engineering and a resource provider to the industry. Are you interested in the product business? And as there is an example of, and there will be a need for capability to visualize the plans on the construction sites. I take an example here that you can make the plans and the 3D designs on everything, on the construction, structural, pipes, ventilation, electricity, whatever. And the construction doesn't exist, but once it is coming together, you can then have the drone or robot or whatever go there and do the mapping once a week, and then provide the workers their mobile phones or HoloLens or whatever, and have them not look into the drawings, but look into around them what needs to go and where, and is this hole for the cable tray going to actually fit there to where it's being designed, etc. And this kind of vertical application is just waiting to be developed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
This is, now we are getting somewhere. I mean, your pitch was about operators and 5G, but this is something that we are thinking at the moment quite a lot. Since, for example, in Finland, there will be changes in legislation.
Mm-hmm.
Companies, or actually those who have building projects, they will, in the future, they will have to submit as-built model.
Mm-hmm.
And now we come to the basic idea behind design and construction. When we design something, we create a design model. And that's basically the theoretical digital twin.
Mm-hmm. But that's theoretical only.
Yeah, once it's constructed, we have all the components, like you see the columns behind me and Ilkka. They will not be exactly in the places where they have been designed to be. So one very tedious task, as you mentioned, that needs to be automated is sort of finding the correct location of the beam, and then updating, of course, the design, the models to reflect how the beam was actually completed. So yes, would be an interesting topic to discuss.
and there is a global need, not just local need for this.
And I've been with BIM and technology since about 2007, and I have met a lot of people globally, and I think we are in Finland very capable in engineering and technology. People abroad respect us for this. So anything we come up with, I think we can take abroad.
Absolutely agree on that.
Potentials for something new here. All right, with Lauri next with additional.
Yeah, we were pretty close to our true expertise when you were talking about the beams and how they are, whether they are in correct location, etc. So how about if you could stream the exact or actual construction site status in a form of, for example, point clouds or a surface model directly into your design software while the construction is happening? Do you think that would be a valuable proposition for your construction management cases?
It would be, since then we can automate the follow-up of the completion of the works and the progress. Absolutely.
Well, that would be something that we are willing to do and doing already. So just let me know when to start.
Good. Sounds good. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Before wrapping up, is there any other questions from the companies?
I could ask if, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. If you had the choice, what would be the dream company that dropped into your portfolio? What sort of characteristics would it have?
It would have a good team, and they would have a product that we can sort of understand and see the demand for it. And then thinking about the Finnish market, it's really small. We are only 5.5 million people. Creating a business in Finland that is digital, I think you need to go abroad. So I would like to see a plan and ambition to go international.
Right.
Ilkka.
Yeah, I think I agree. Team is important. Something that you has to understand how the money comes in, so it's concrete in a way. Even some already shown records of financial success.
Yeah.
Even though we are in start of something, and then you started with, Jaakko said in the first slide, something like that we have to be open with each other. That's something that I value in a company. From the day one that we discuss openly all the issues. And we are not like the behind the curtain or behind the border and just investing. Everything we have to be able to openly discuss.
Good. I wanna at this end, I wanna still kind of highlight one thing, which is kind of the holistic offering. I think we have a really incredible group of companies here present today, and we already kind of made some connections between you companies and your offerings as well. Let's have a quick round of thoughts from each of you, that if you reflect other companies and their pitches, do you find any ways of starting collaboration between each other, and what kind of this kind of holistic offering that could be that would born out of it? Let's start, for example, from Lauri. How do you see potential collaboration with other companies that we're pitching today?
Well, we are gradually moving towards the more sort of real-time applications of the construction worksite data, or not like real-time, but near real-time at least. So definitely the immersal solution would be some technology that we could check whether we have some collaboration potential. And then I think the Askel's idea is also really good, and sort of does the same thing as well, like in a sort of a way. It does similar thing as we, but for design elements, so or design files, so and information, and then. Well, the RFID tracking, I know that our clients in the construction sites, they are losing their stuff constantly, like all the time. So I think that there is definite cases for our clients, but I'm not sure how our offering could be matched. But I can recommend you when a such situation arises.
Sounds good. How about Natalia and Chaos?
Yeah, well, I'm already like booking a meeting next with you. I think that we have been in discussions so a lot on CityFire. Like we met them like 3 years ago when they were early starting as well. Then after that, also we have been participating in a tender together with Helsinki. So it seems just logical to formalize like more discussions. I'm eager to discuss more. So let's see if we can find next week some space already.
Sounds good. What about Askel and Ville?
So I was so impressed. There were so many really nice presentations, and those ideas are just awesome. Especially, I have to say, I was really impressed with the demos that Immersal showed us. And what I also find points in that we're kind of in this same domain, sort of, where we're trying to harmonize the standards and of design and the construction. So maybe there would be some way to collaborate. I don't know.
Sounds good. How about Immersal and Anthony?
I think from this group, the closest is Annina from Proximic. As far as I understand, you have at least tried our technology also as one of the solutions, because you are using several different technologies. And as for us also, we don't try to be the only one there. So that's clear that there are some cases here, but as said earlier, we're a horizontal provider, and to be honest with, we have even lost track whether Annina and Proximi is using us, because we tried earlier, still about 9 months ago, to sell these €100 and €500 per month subscriptions, but we found out that that's too much hassle, and just ditched all that, and I'm still using Annina and Proximi as an example. The smaller users who are still in the first steps of the path, we give it free of charge, and then once they and you grow and need the first own server, then we sell the platform, and then we also start making money. But we don't even know who is using our free service at this point of time. I should be.
And Proximi IO, what is the situation here?
Yeah, I'll give you an update, Anthony. and everybody else as well. We have a tender out, a quotation out with your solution embedded in it. So let's hope that goes through soon. But yeah, I see collaboration opportunities with pretty much everybody, and I'm already familiar with all the companies because we've been having different conversations. Like Chaos and Natalia, you've been using our technology previously, and with Trail, and I think Pointscene as well. We've also had some conversations down the line because our positioning technology can be applied to any solution essentially.
Sounds good. Then Trail.
Oh yeah, super interesting companies. Really lots of new thoughts around the building the business. But yeah, Annina and Proximi is definitely something where I see a lot of similarities or some interesting corners that we could definitely take the time to chat about.
Sounds good. Do we still have Digital City Planner online? No. So all right. I mean, this is certainly a mini ecosystem of itself forming here with this group of companies, and I really like the opportunities how it could go forward. What about next steps for AINS Group CVC program? The further discussions with these incredible companies.
Okay. You have a phone. As I mentioned, we are only one phone call away. And of course, all the company, including the Digital City Planner. I think it would be interesting to have a proper discussion. We had I think, good glimpse, and it's a pity Dimitri is not here listening, I guess, but it was really abstract, but it might be very useful in the future. It was kind of a proof of concept stage or idea stage, so it wasn't really easy to understand. But if we are looking at any digitalization effort, large scale effort in Finland at the moment, everyone talks about finding first the names for the things and taxonomies and these things. So also the Digital City Planner is quite interesting. Yeah.
Certainly there are now today companies that we could also present in the board of AINS Ventures, for example. That would be very soon, and that has been the way that we've been presenting targets, potential targets, those ones that we are only starting with the discussions, and so on. So there are a couple ones that we have to do that and share the information. There are other business managers from those business areas involved as well. They hear our message, and then we think together what shall we do next.
And part of the screening process is actually kind of a form we have where we can very easily make a fast analysis of the company, how interesting it is, and so on. And we basically have the practice of going, when we screen companies, we document it using the same form, the same question set. And these are presented basically in the AINS Ventures meetings. And then we discuss, should we go forward, and who would be the correct business people to continue.
All right. Awesome. So basically, every one of you will have that next step. Please be active of making sure that next meeting will happen. And I was really happy to see that basically all of them actually had building partnership networks and pilot projects kind of in their ask, and those both of them are things that you can certainly be helpful with in addition to the funding. So to wrap it up, I personally want to thank all of the pitching companies. It was a really good job for everybody, and then of course thank AINS Group that we could host this session together. Hopefully this is a start for something new, either with AINS Group or between you pitching companies. Whatever works, we want to see new things happening and new growth of these digital solutions happening in the sector of built environment. Yes, Jaakko, the final word.
The final word. Many thanks. I think both Ilkka and I were impressed by the quality and the level of the startups. Much better than on average when we meet startups. But then this is the first event we have here in Maria with KIRAHub. We'll be back in about 1 month, having a bit different type of session. So you're gladly welcome to meet then, but don't wait with the phone call till then. 1 month is a terribly long time.
Make sure to get that follow-up meeting. And all of you companies as well, you're welcome to showcase your solutions here at Urban Tree Space. So let's continue putting that together as well. Thank you everybody for watching today, and we'll be back with other interesting sessions with AINS later. Thank you.